Today on TimesCast, Syrian forces swept into the village of al-Shoughour, following residents' reports that many civilians had been shot as the troops had advanced northwards. New videos surface online of Syrian security forces that undermine official government accounts, and Defense Secretary Robert Gates issues a sharp warning to NATO in his final address. The unrest in the northwest of Syria has sent more than 1,000 civilians fleeing north to Turkey. According to residents and activists late Friday, Syrian military forces swept into the town of al-Shoughour. We have not obtained images from that town today.
This is al-Shoughour. I'm reporting from the New York Times Beirut Bureau. I managed to talk to some witnesses from al-Shoughour. One of them, his name is Hamza. He fled the city 5 hours ago to the mountains. He said that the army exists everywhere, about 40 tanks surrounding the main entrance of the city, and 3 helicopters were shooting at any moving object. Another witness I talked to, his name Abu Abdul, also he said that he saw like 10 bodies on the ground and about 15 wounded, but he can't say exact number. He's not sure.
Well, much of the attention on Friday has been focused on the confrontation in al-Shoughour in the northwest of Syria. Activists have also pointed out that there have been large protests apparently in Hama, a central Syrian city that was the scene of a large uprising in 1982 that was brutally cracked down upon by the current Syrian president's father. Some people have speculated that in the era of social media it might be impossible for a government like Syria to stage a crackdown of that brutality. The Syrian government continues to impose a ban on foreign reporters, so our journalists in the region are monitoring developments from the border regions, from neighboring Lebanon, but we've also been able to find some accounts of what's going on posted on social media websites. There's video on YouTube, there's accounts supposedly from eyewitnesses of protests and clashes inside the country on Facebook and Twitter. But for quite a long time now, we've been watching two versions of events that don't overlap at all. The Syrian state-run media accounts and the accounts of a network of activists and bloggers who've been shooting video of demonstrations and have also captured video of what appear to be very violent clashes and people killed during these demonstrations. But something else we've seen recently is a third source of information, which is a series of videos that appear to have been shot by members of the security forces themselves as what might be called trophy videos. They appear to have been leaked possibly from Facebook accounts of soldiers. There was a very shocking one that appeared online last week showing a soldier who appeared to be planting weapons on protesters, a group of people in civilian dress who'd been killed. The fact that members of the security forces appear to be documenting some of the brutal crackdown on dissent themselves is something of a problem for the Syrian government, since it doesn't match the description of events inside the country. One way that the Syrian state media seems to be dealing with that recently has been to suggest that opposition activists and protesters have been dressing up in military uniforms and staging this video to discredit the military. So as we try to sift from outside fact from fiction, the existence of these videos is another reminder of just how difficult it is in the internet age for a government to crack down entirely on the flow of information.
This is Stephen Erlanger of the New York Times reporting from Paris. On Friday, U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates harshly criticized NATO nations for their low defense spending, their political restraints on military operations, and their failures to keep their commitments in Afghanistan. Unless they changed their ways, he said, the transatlantic alliance would have a dim future.
The blunt reality is that there will be dwindling appetite and patience in the United States Congress and in the American body politic writ large to expend increasingly precious funds on behalf of nations that are apparently unwilling to devote the necessary resources or make the necessary changes to be serious and capable partners in their own defense.
But the war in Libya is already a strong example of this, of the new American unwillingness to do it all. Without the United States, the Allies have had great difficulty coordinating their airstrikes, doing intelligence, and they have been running out of ammunition. Mr. Gates's swan song scolding of the Allies comes just weeks before his retirement, and it is reminiscent of another warning offered by another American leader.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists.
Of course, President Eisenhower's warning was to a domestic audience about a danger that he saw coming, which was the growth of the national security state. And Mr. Gates is speaking to friends and allies about a danger he sees coming, which is their growing irrelevance to Washington unless they do more in their own defense. And these are dangers already in evidence in the war in Libya.